Hello, my friends. We are 1 month into this crazy cootie quarantine crackdown. How nuts are we all going? So lots of changes going on, guys, right? As I talked about my last video, they're talking about this morning, they're realizing they have information to indicate that the virus did not come from the wet market, that it in fact came from a lab. Lots of stuff is going to be showing itself. Our new reality is going to be peeled away this week, right? They're going to be deciding how they could start bringing us all back to life, right? Depending on where in the country we live. So there's a lot of stuff going on, but that's not what I want to focus on because we already spoke about that. Let's just watch everything roll out. But next week, right, from the 20th to the 26th, I did want to discuss the new moon in Taurus, which is happening on Wednesday the 22nd. So guys, I'm going to go through the new moon energies and the transits that are going to be hitting, and then I'm going to go in separate videos, okay? I'm going to be going sign by sign with which house it's most going to be affecting you guys in, okay? Because each sign is going to be feeling it a little bit differently. So I'm going to start loading those today. So, new moon in Taurus, usually like a great thing, right? Who doesn't love Taurus? Taurus is an earth energy, ruled by Venus. Venus is about love, money, our self-esteem. But the new moon represents the end of one cycle and the beginning of the next 28-day cycle, right? As always. So we have the sun conjuncting the moon here, giving a very serious burst of energy and initiative. So this is a great time for making a fresh start, turning over a new leaf, starting a new project, or at least, pointing yourself in that direction, doing all of the homework that you might need to do to get something new started. So in all of this, you're going to be questioning old habits that you have, behaviors, beliefs, belief systems. This is what I say, this is where, when we have the sun conjunct the moon like this is where your outside meets your inside, right? So, and this really does end up inciting a lot of very realistic conversations within yourself about, really having, first of all, on a very positive note, what's really beautiful in your life? Like, what are you really valuing and working in your life? And just really feeling so appreciative of that. Now, that could be work, that could be a project, that could be a person, that could be a group of people, obviously your family, it's going to be different for everyone. But this is also a time to make the initiatives to really try to work things out and make adjustments in areas that are clearly not working to your best interest. So of course, for many of us, it's going to mean the cutting off and letting go of things. For others, it's going to mean trying to become really creative in how to make something work that maybe hasn't really been working in the way that you would really like. So this is happening in Taurus. Remember, guys, Taurus is its second house, right? Second house energy of resources. And this is very much going to be the focus this month, especially, I do want to just say, especially for Aries signs, those of you who are Aries, because you guys are going to be feeling this the strongest since the new moon is in your second house. But let's not forget that, again, going back to Venus rules Taurus. So we're going to be feeling a very strong desire for new beginnings in areas that Taurus covers. So, or at least a fresh perspective, right? In regards to our work, how we make money, not necessarily our career, because that would be 10th house. And 6th house would be our day-to-day. But the second house is like how we're actually making the money, our relationship to money, debt, our ability to save, how are we with money. So we're really going to be looking for either a new beginning or a fresh perspective in this area of money. And also how we connect in our relationships, right? Tying it all back to how we feel about ourselves. So this is about you. It's like a little bit of I'm calling it like a check-in with yourself. Do you feel good, first of all, with how you handled money and resources up to this point? If not, what changes do you need to make moving forward? Then ask that same questions having to do with relationships. Do you feel good about how you've handled relationships, how you've been to people, how you've allowed them to treat you, the energies that you've been calling into yourself? And is there like a connection maybe in your life that you feel very ready to fix? Or a connection that you feel really has reached its expiration date because it makes you feel bad and it needs to be released. So you're going to feel very pushed to make some changes, but keeping it real, it's not going to be, my notes are down here, guys, by the way, if you're looking, because I don't miss anything. your intentions are going to be very much there because they're always there, right? With that moon energy. But we have some new moon aspects that we have to talk about, okay? So we have the new moon conjunct Uranus. The moon, remember, is I feel, it's inside. And then there's Uranus, right? This desire for freedom and things being different, things being shaken up so that they can be done differently. So this could bring excitement, a lot of unexpected change, and almost like a feeling of rebellion within you, right? And you just really feeling like a very strong urge to break free from routine and restriction. It's going to be very challenging here, though, because these needs are probably not going to be able to be met right now, right? So there's going to be restlessness, impatience, and almost like a nervous tension, like a nervous buildup that you are going to be feeling. Now, I always like to look at the upside of everything because I really do believe that everything offers a lesson. And I know a lot of you are like, tuning out right now because, look, I totally get that a lot of us are in this space of where we have no work, we have sick loved ones, we've lost people. You're hard pressed to find anybody in New York or my area anyway, and I can only speak for this area, who doesn't at least know somebody who has died or who has almost passed, or it's a mess. It is a mess, okay? Absolutely a mess. But we have a decision to make here. We are going to either lay down and let this take over us, or we're going to step up to the challenge and the changes that are being presented to us. That's why I'm saying it's all in how we each decide to handle it. So, because in this energy, acting impulsively can end up creating changes that end up working at cross purposes to your life, which is just going to end up making your life feel even more disruptive and more challenging, at least if not in the short term, definitely in the long term. So first of all, we should all think before we speak. Everybody, deep breath before we say anything that we're feeling like, that we want to say very impulsively. Read that text before you press send, right? Double check that email. If you're really angry with somebody, I recommend write an email, write a letter, go good old snail mail. Just don't put an address on it and just do the cathartic thing of sending it, but to like not that person, or just deleting it and getting your feelings out there. And definitely be very careful before posting any comments that could be considered aggressive online, like any sort of social media. You just don't want to burn any bridges. You don't want to make any enemies because of this feeling of what is probably going to feel like a palatable kind of frustration, for sure. And accidents can happen more easily at this time just because our patience is low. So just be careful if you happen to be driving a car, or climbing that ladder, or doing that home project. Just be super careful, right? And if you feel like you're getting very impatient about something, honestly, take a deep breath, take a step back, and just say, how important is this right now in this moment, really? Just tap into all of those good grounding mechanisms, right, that we always talk about. Now, at the same time, you're going to have that. But if we can be flexible and open-minded to the changing conditions, looking for the good, any good in a situation, this will not only decrease your restlessness, but it's also going to really help you acclimate to the inevitable changes that are happening right now, because they are. So this is a great energy to work with the change via the internet, guys, because remember, Uranus rules technology. It doesn't rule the communication necessarily. That's more Mercury. But Uranus rules technology. So turn to technology right now to find that new job, gain that new skill set. Maybe, you might want to go back to school online, or even if you just sort of shop around to just see things that are going to pique your interest. Great time to do research. Excellent time to do research if you're looking to make some shifts in your path. Now, This may have nothing to do with work for you, because I know so many people who are still working and fine. They're working from home or just differently. I also know so many people who are out of work. So you're going to take that in whatever way it applies to you. But this also goes for relationships, guys. So if you're in a situation now, right, because of the cootie quarantine, we can't go out and actually socialize and meet people. It's super challenging to do that. That's why, blowing up are these virtual internet sites. Now, full disclosure, I'm really not sure how they work, but I'd imagine it's like a Zoom kind of thingy, I guess. But I know I read something the other day about how it's blowing up. It's blown up. And it kind of makes sense, actually, because it's like meeting somebody without really meeting them, sort of, to sift through. Anyway, but a really good energy to do that. Just expanding yourself in general. Turn to technology for it. Really good. So if you feel yourself super stressed out, divert your attention and make something good out of it. The tensions, though, sort of just like keep a coming toward this energy, though, because then the new moon is squaring Saturn. So this suggests that the changes caused by Saturn may be slow. Caused by Uranus, rather, may be slow to develop, because Saturn is all about restriction and delays, and it makes it harder to seek that freedom, right, that Uranus really makes us feel like so strongly. That desire, that excitement that you're going to be feeling, right? But this does not mean that you shouldn't push yourself forward. Don't get sucked into that. I always say, those of you who've been watching me for a while know, I love Saturn. Is Saturn the great taskmaster? Papa Saturn up in the sky saying, you can't have that now. You can't have that candy yet. You can't have that whatever it is yet. Not yet. You still have to develop something about yourself. You have to change something. So it's always because there's this amazing thing on the other side that he's just going to be like, here you go. And it's going to be very long lasting too. So you may feel restricted and weighed down. Yes, by new limitations, routines, responsibilities in a different way. Many of us are going to be feeling isolated and lonely and pessimistic. And listen, let's keeping it real. Lots of depression right now, for sure. All of these things are possible, and you may even be facing criticism from people in your life, like who really needs that right now, and some loss. Lots of people are losing things right now, or disappointment, which is naturally going to make progressing toward and reaching your goals a bit more difficult right now. But by focusing forward and maintaining or developing, I say because you may not have one, a really solid work ethic. Everybody's different. But it should be done with patience and determination. I can't emphasize that enough. But it's to meet your responsibilities. Guys, this is not a good time to procrastinate or become super distracted, which is very easy to happen. I was talking to a couple of friends of mine the other day, and, I'm asking them, who unfortunately are not able to work from home. And, so it's a very tough go for many, many people. And, like a lot of my friends are taking part in like these virtual happy hours that are happening. So, okay, that's okay, like I guess every now and then, but you might not want to make that a daily thing, because that would be procrastinating or putting off the inevitable of, maybe doing some inner work, right? Cleaning out things in your life that need to be cleaned out. Maybe, if you know that you're not going to be going back to that job, well, you don't want to be in that job anymore, even if you're going to go back for a minute, right, just for the paycheck. This is a really good time to divert your attention. And the reason I'm saying this is because Saturn rewards really good work, right? Like many things in life. If you put the work in, you're going to get the blessing on the other side. So by procrastinating, becoming distracted, all of that, maybe just save the happy hour for Fridays or Thursdays, whatever, regular happy hour days. But it really is, if you ignore your responsibilities during this moon phase, it will come back to bite you in the pants later. But anyway, and again, I realize how challenging this might be if you're sick, if you're out of work, if you're dealing with a relentless broken heart. I know a lot of people who are. But whatever the deep challenge is for you, know that you are in fact so powerful, and that your perspective and your intention might feel challenged right now. So you need to decide if you're going to be that flower that's grabbing to the roots in the ground, focused and determined to grow in the face of all of these challenging energies that we have going on right now, or you're going to choose to be that leaf in the wind, thereby allowing the energies to just have its way with you. You know, I like to look at these energies like go into business, be a business partner with the energies. Don't work for them, work with them. Be a business partner, right? Don't be at their mercy, because we are energetic beings after all. So even though the energy can be really challenging, it's up to us to choose what we're going to do with it. Are we going to be productive with it in some way, somehow, right? Pushing that part of us forward that needs to be pushed forward while appreciating the good, or are we going to just give up, right? So it's listen, there's a lot of newness that's going to be happening. I've been saying it for a while, and a lot of you guys are like, what new? If you sit back and you take a look at the way life has been rolling out, guys, major changes have been going on. And as they work towards opening up the economy again and getting us all back out there, we're going to be faced with a new normal even there. So we're going to have to just be patient and understand that things are rolling out exactly as they're supposed to be. But we do have these challenging energies now, and we have Saturn squaring Uranus, which can make it harder to make the changes you want here. You know, again, frustrating time of rising tension, sudden changes, should expect it. But again, this is not a time to fight the change, guys. Really use your higher self-awareness from Uranus, because Uranus is giving this to you, to look at and change any bad habits that you might be nursing, where you might self-sabotage yourself, where you might not be taking the best care of yourself. You know, really getting honest with, are you taking really good care of yourself? And guys, I do want to say this too. Be willing to ask for help right now if you need it. You know, this is no time for pride. You know, we're in unprecedented times here through no fault of our own. And there is no shame in asking for help if you need help. Friends, family, any outside resources that are there, no shame. And honestly, guys, we are all brothers and sisters always. But I'm pretty sure that we can all agree as a collective that it's like we became this Chariot reverse and Devil because of the Three of Wands reverse. So it's like off track and imbalance because of misunderstandings with each other as a collective whole, right, in society. And now it's time to like put things straight and really work together in getting through this very transitional time. I mean, it's the best way of looking at it. It's a transitional time. Change is never easy. Never. The human condition is made to like its comforts. Change is never easy. It is not easy to crack out of that chrysalis and become the butterfly. And I know that sounds so cheesy, but I just felt like I needed to say that, you know? So we really just need to keep our focus on what is just really important and maybe what's not so important, you know? So let's just pull a couple of cards for the collective, and then I'm going to go straight into, I'm going to go Aries through Cancer probably, and have those hopefully up by the end of today. But let's get some collective energies here. Let's see what's happening for everybody who is watching. The Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords, 3 a.m., anxiety, depression, right? Feeling alone, feeling isolated, very much trying to figure out a way out of this situation, right? You're trying to figure out a way out. Then we have the Nine of Wands energy. Listen, Nine of Wands reverse. Nine of Wands reverse is really not having any fire left in your belly to keep pushing something forward. This could be a relationship, this could be a job, whatever it is, you know what it is, right? Because the wands are will and determination. In the upright, this is like, yeah, this has been really flipping hard, man. but I still have fire in my belly for it. In the reverse, you're like, you know what? No, it's done. It's done. You don't want to do it anymore. All right, we have the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, listen, a lot of us are going to be feeling, right? So a little strapped for money, feeling like, you know, you were on a good trajectory, and now you're in a space of, am I going to be able to keep the saving going? Am I going to be able to do that? This also tells me that a lot of you guys are going to be feeling very disconnected, right? So if it doesn't have to do with actual finances, some of you guys are going to be feeling very disconnected right now. All right, but listen. Then we have the Wheel of the Year in reverse. This is a Jupiter energy, okay? Now this tells me that something that you have been involved in is not going to be returning. So if you're waiting for something to return, it's not going to return, okay? Because it's not meant to. You would not have luck in expansion. So in the upright, it means the return of something from the past. And depending on how the situation was before, it would be successful or not successful, depending, right? Because it's like Lady Luck, the wheel Lady Luck, right? But in the reverse, this tells me that there's not going to be this reconnection. So if it had to do with that job, if it had to do with that friendship, if it had to do with that relationship, something that hasn't been working out is not going to be allowed to continue. And this is exactly what I was talking about here, right? So, but this just indicates change. It's all it does, just indicates change. And we know that that's what's going on here. So let's check out what's going on with each of your signs. I'll see you guys on the other side for each of your individual signs. Thank you so much for joining me, guys, and hang in there. Hang in there. A new normal is right around the corner, hopefully. All right, see you guys next time. Bye-bye.